Welcome to another new episode of the DeCluttr Me podcast with myself, Shelina. I hope you're looking after yourself wherever you are in the world and enjoying the podcast that you're listening to. Last week and the week before, I spoke about souvenir clutter, and right after the first episode, I met my client who had bought 8 ceramic souvenirs from Cairo to give to his daughter. Yep, 8. They were like pyramids that were different sizes. So I shared the first episode with him to explain, you don't need to buy this stuff. But what he said was that these guys were forcing it onto him and putting it into his pockets, and he was just too polite to decline. So let's, put it out there. You don't have to accept it. They're being impolite, forcing you to part with your hard-earned money to buy what is generally crap. Like, these things that they force onto people is not good stuff. You have a right to look at it and see if you really want it. And if you don't, be polite, politely decline, put it on a table, put it somewhere, put it back in their hands, but don't say yes if you don't want it. If you want it, of course, if you want multiple types of pyramids, go for it. But if not, say no. It's your money. It's clutter that's going to go into your house. So say it's no. Like, you don't have to accept it. So anyway, so that's enough talk about souvenirs, I think, after 2 episodes. But I just wanted to talk today about a new type of clutter that has erupted in the last few years, and that's the home edit clutter. So if you haven't heard of the home edit, which I'm sure you guys have, they are 2 successful professional organizers who are based in America and who have not only organized homes for normal people, but they also do it for celebrities. They have a TV show on Netflix. They have books. They have product deals with ID Design and Walmart. And, they're very good. They've brought out professional organizers more, just like Marie Kondo did before. I mean, I've even gotten clients because of the home edit. So they are great. They've done a lot for the industry and for the business. And they're really good with marketing and sales. I admire them for that, but they have focused on organizing with style. And that involves organizing by rainbow colors and using a lot of containers to decant into and to just put few items in and mostly to put it in rainbow color. So I've discussed my views on rainbow coloring before on podcast episodes and also with clients who want to do it that way. It does look great visually, especially for Instagram, with books, because they do a lot on books and rainbow color books. They do it, the spines by rainbow, but it doesn't work if you have white, black or gray spines, and it doesn't work if you're a normal person with different color spines, because you don't look at books based on their spines. You look at it based on the topic or the genre or the category or the author. It just doesn't make sense. So, I mean, everybody has their own way of organizing. But this rainbow thing is it just doesn't help when you're at home. It actually mentally is more fatiguing to find something because you're like, oh, where is that book? And then you have to think about what color it is. It's too much. And then who can remember the colors of the rainbow? I remember it from Richard of York gave battle in vain. That is just too much to keep on saying Richard of York gave battle in vain every time. And then you have to think about all the colors that are not in the rainbow. What happens to them? It's taxing for my head just talking about it. Imagine having to maintain it on a day-to-day basis. Like it's just too taxing. So I use the simple system of white to light to dark colors. So from left to right, you have your white, yellow, orange, pink, purple, red, green, blue, gray, black. So light to dark. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but as light to dark as you can get from left to right. And it works. And the thing with doing it like that is that you do it by the colors and you get to see what colors you have. And if you have an anomaly, like if I had a yellow top in my wardrobe, like in the tops, I would know there's an issue because I don't wear yellow. Very rarely. My mom tries to make me and it just doesn't work. So if I had a yellow top or a dress or something, it'll be like, why is this here? Why did I buy this? This needs to be decluttered. So that's why it's always good to do it by color. And a lot of people have white and black. So you need to fit that into your color scheme, whether it be your books or your wardrobe or, whatever. So yeah, it looks good for Instagram. It looks good for the pictures, but, does it work for you? I've also been privy to the fact that the home edit women buy only food in the colors of the rainbow to put into containers in the kitchen. And that to me is bonkers. That is, I suppose, very middle class, very elitist. I don't know. It's just bonkers. Why? How many items can you think of that are yellow? Like there's lentils, there's banana chips. Like I don't want to eat banana chips all the time. I don't want to eat lentils all the time because of my stomach. So, and you're just buying these colors just to put them into containers. I mean, it's just bonkers. And there's not that many things that are violet except for blackberries. And I mean, there's how many blackberries can one person eat? So it means you're not enjoying eating for enjoyment. You're buying food for the sake of Instagram showness. And that to me is bonkers and a waste of money and time. I get it. It's a marketing ploy and it's a great way to sell books and products and items they collab on. They haven't got rich from being sensible, but I am sensible and I'm too pragmatic and sensible to say, buy food based on the color of the rainbow to put into your kitchen, or buy clothes based on the color of the rainbow to put into your wardrobe. Because to be honest, a lot of people don't suit the colors of the rainbow. I do. I work well with primary colors, but a lot of people don't. So, except for yellow and orange. I don't work well with yellow and orange. So think about your life. Think about your income, the time you have to buy, organize, and declutter. Do you have time to do rainbow coloring? Do you want to make it simple for yourself and your household? What do you want to do to make it mentally and physically easy for your life? So think about that when you're thinking about what colors to do it in. My next gripe is the boxes. So don't get me wrong. I use boxes to organize items in my house, in households that I work on, and even in my house. But I only use boxes when needed, as I don't need to add to the clutter. I do not use boxes unnecessarily to have a half empty box or rainbow items, to just take a great picture for Instagram. It has to be logical. It has to make sense. It has to be labeled well. And these boxes, especially the home edit boxes, are really expensive. And if you use a lot of them, it adds up to, especially if you use them in kitchens and bathrooms, it can come into the thousands of dirhams or hundreds of pounds and dollars. I've had clients ask me to organize their kitchen like in the home edit without realizing that the cost just for the boxes alone can be in the region of 3,000 to 5,000 dirhams, which is about £1,000. Then the time needed to decant, organize, and label the boxes and jars can take even more time. So that's cost on, the organizer that you're paying for. Do you have that money in your budget? And even if you have, do you want to waste that money on boxes? One client wanted to use jars to store all the spices, lentils, and rice, etc., and have them labeled. We used a cheaper range. She already had containers, so she had jars with the yellow caps that they sell a lot here in like the cheaper stores. But she wanted it like the home edit, and it took about 6 hours to do all of this, and to do all the spice and everything. And it came to about 3,000 dirhams, and she was mental about the price. She could not believe that it cost that much. Blamed me completely. And I was like, well, I told you from the beginning, it's going to be expensive. This is the cost. This is why it's not worth it. Do you have this budget? And she was like, yeah, let's do it. And then when it came to it, she was like, oh my God. It was her decision, and she had been forewarned, several times. So that I can't blame, the blame couldn't be on me. It could be on the home edit for making her want to have it all uniform like that. But, you have to think about that. Like, even if you're well off, like, think about how much money you're wasting when you could get a beautiful bag for the same price. Do you know what I mean? So I want to emphasize that to you today. Like, it might look amazing, but think about the costs. The acrylic boxes are not cheap. So full disclosure, I sell acrylic boxes in collaboration with Aish Home. So I'm not innocent when it comes to selling these boxes, but A, I'm not as good at marketing, and B, I aim to use a sensible amount and only ensure that the areas are properly organized and labeled. I will leave a link to the collab in the show notes so that you can buy my boxes. They're cheaper and they're better, and I have to market myself somehow, don't I? I need to make a bit of money. Anyway, so that's my full disclosure. But yeah, the use of the boxes, it has to be a sensible amount. So, I mean, say in the kitchen for baking, I will put all the baking ingredients into one box or two boxes, depending on how much you bake, because it's easier. Because otherwise, they're little bits like the vanilla, the sauces, the flavors, the sugar, all that. They're all in different places. So if you put them all into one box, it makes it easier when you bake. Same with all the pasta, the pulses, the spices. So, you need to use boxes at the right time. And the same in the bathroom, like, you use boxes to put all the same items together. So I want you to think about that when buying these containers. Get them if you need them. They can be incredibly useful in the kitchen and the bathroom and the laundry room. They can keep like-for-like items together and ensure you can find your stuff in less than 5 seconds. However, before you buy, do this to ensure you buy only what you need. So, number 1, declutter your space first, getting rid of all the items you don't need, use, or want. Number 2, organize the items left into categories. So in the kitchen, put the baking, the pasta, the pulses, the pantry items all together and see what size box you need for that space. So you can do a measurement or you can just see. I mean, with me, I can see straight away from looking at the cupboards what boxes are needed. But if you need to take measurements, it's not hard. And then number 3, buy what you need within your budget. So you can get cheap boxes from Daiso or dollar shops or IKEA, or more expensive ones from me in the collab down below, like there's a link below, or from the Home Edit, you can, or on Amazon. So choose what works for you and what sizes work for you. You might want clear, you might want white. So see what works for you. Turntables are great and so useful. So if you need one, get the right size for you, but you don't need 10 turntables one for oil, one for sauces, one for spices, one for this, one for that. You just need about 1 or 2, So think about that. But they are very, very useful. Boxes and fridge are a great idea, especially if you've got really big fridges, but can be cumbersome if you don't have that much room in your fridge for other items. So think about whether you will put other items like Tupperware, leftovers, and other big items into the fridge at various times, and if these boxes will get in the way. So I only have one box for all my chocolates and biscuits and one turntable in my fridge because it's not that big. So I realized, I tried out putting boxes into fridges, very early on. So many years ago, I bought some boxes and I put it in my fridge and it was just cumbersome because I have leftovers quite often and, takeaway. So it didn't work for me, but try it for you. And, but don't get expensive ones. You can get good ones from Daiso or Home Center that will work and have handles and they'll be great. So see what is needed for your space, whether that cupboards or the fridge. So those are my tips for getting, boxes, getting color coordinated. It's not a complete diss of the Home Edit. They've helped me to get more business and help people to get more organized. But as with anything, they're showing an extreme with organizing using the rainbow coloring and the ridiculous amount of boxes. And I understand they're making money. And it would be amazing to have a pantry like Khloe Kardashian, but it's not practical or sensible for most houses and households. So if you can have a stylish, organized home, awesome. Embrace it, enjoy it. But try and get one that's your home, for your home, and it's organized and it's functional so you can find your stuff in less than 5 seconds moving forward. And also that your staff can find it and your household. So it's not just you wanting to have it amazing just for, the pictures on Instagram. Make it so that it's practical for you and your household. So I hope you found this useful. Thanks for listening as always. And if you enjoyed these episodes, I would love it if you would share it with your friends, your family, on social media, on WhatsApp. I would love it if you could leave a review as well. That would just help me so much to get higher up on the rankings and get seen and listened to more. So if you could do that, that would be amazing. So thank you for listening as always. Take care and I will speak to you next week. Bye.